Hi, this is Zach Mir with the US Stock Highlights here on Share Talk for Thursday, the 22nd of April. Starting off again with Brooklyn Immunotherapeutics. Nice progress so far this week with an inside day breakout, or at least breaking out that inside candle that we've got there. Probably want to see an end of day close above the Tuesday resistance. That was at 10.95, so an end of day close above that or weekly close above that could give us $14 or $15 by the end of next month. We get that pretty promptly. Next stock is one that has been featured here recently, I think. Here we've got Sell-Side Corporation. Nice move today with the, following on from the push through the 50-day moving average that we had yesterday. And really what we want to see now, or would like to see now, is an end-of-day close above that mid-March peak at 21.76. Above that on an end-of-day close basis, we will indeed retest that resistance on the way down, which we've already done, $28 or so. And then the big picture target here, maybe over the next 2 to 3 months, size $45 or $50, maybe by the end of June, if everything progresses as it should. And it looks pretty encouraging at the moment. Stock which we're revisiting as well after a couple of days, I believe, is the next one, CMMB Therapeutics. Here we can see, or we will be able to see, that the shares have managed to bounce, and they're sort of toying with the recent resistance line that's there from March. So still looking for a target for a resistance break of, say, $36, really end of day close, to confirm that we're up on our way to retest the 50-day moving average at $50 and obviously the initial April peak through $72. But it's quite a strange chart and probably worth being on alert for a potential breakthrough that $36 on an end of day close basis. Next up, stock which is, again, not quite, well, not familiar, more familiar company, but not familiar here so far. Equifax going through the roof, and we'll just see the current situation there. Currently, we've got today's intraday low at $212 or so, actually $212.69. And above that, on an end-of-day close basis, we're still looking for the potential for further upside, up towards $280 is a best-case scenario at the top of that rising trend channel from the end of February last year. Target, or time frame on that target rather, possibly by the end of June if we keep the situation moving. On to a stock which is new to us, or new to me at least, Kaleidoscope, or Kaleido rather, Kaleido Biosciences. Here we've got a situation where the interest is actually the way that shares have bounced above the low this week so far, 593, and they managed to bounce above the rather 585, and they managed to bounce above the floor of that gap in September at 559. So that is a buy signal in its own right, and being too strong to actually fill a gap is a pretty good signal. We also cleared that area, the sort of the $6 area, quite well today anyway, so that does suggest that the shares are on the move. And all we're waiting for now really is a break of this resistance line running through today's high. It's $7.61 rather. If we can do that over the next session or two, maybe at the end of the week, then the initial target here, the 200-day moving average at $8.50, but the big prize, I suppose, would be a retest of March resistance at $11.65 by the end of next month. But that failed gap fill, a very nice signal for those who appreciate such charting. Moving along to a stock which was something of a bubble stock last year. During the summer, I think we soared towards, $60, $80, something like that. Rather painful retreat, but this is just the first sign here of a bounce off the floor of a broadening triangle from the end of September. The level in question, I suppose, yesterday's support around the $9.37 area. And really, while we're above that, we maintain that $9.37 area and that support line from September, looking towards the 50-day moving average around the $15 to $16 area. The plus point, I suppose, in the near term is the way that we had a key reversal to the upside yesterday, and that's a key reversal off a low tends to be a decent signal in terms of either a stocks or markets. I suppose we had a similar situation in January, but this one a proper key reversal to the upside, and as I said, a near term up towards $15 to $16 would appear to be on the cards. A stock which has been featured quite frequently here in the recent past, which is normally good news, OCGN. We can see that the share's making some progress after that final little dip below the $6 area. We actually gapped up yesterday, so that was a good gap off support is always encouraging. Gives us an initial target here, the 50-day moving average at $8.27, and really be quite confident, in fact, that we could head back towards as high as the March resistance area at $13 or up to $14 by the end of next month. If you're cautious, maybe wait for an 100-day close through the 50-day line, but it looks as though with that bear trap gap reversal, enough has been done to prove the mettle of the stock. RNLX is next, a stock which is also on the UK market, but here we're looking at its US version gap, rebound off the floor of a rising trend channel, and also a gap through the 50-day moving average. So what's not to like? The resistance before the gap was at $27.25, and while we're above that on an end-of-day close basis, we're looking to $36 by the end of next month. If you want to have a slightly tighter slightly looser stop loss rather, 26.41 at the floor of the gap. End of day close back below that would be probably the safer or the wider stop loss on that situation. Just 3 situations to go now. One has become a firm favorite, TKAT, and you'll see the reason why it's been a favorite. Well, the reason it was initially a favorite this year is because it rallied from about $5 to $75, but now it looks as though we found some support here at the 50-day moving average, which is quite typical in these situations. That's at $17.79, but we've broken that line of resistance from March, basis the $20 area, and while we're above $20, looking for a return potentially back up to resistance on the way down through $40 by the end of next month. So above 20, looking for 40 on TKAT. Teradata is next, and here you'll see that the shares have been they've gapped higher after an extended probe for support above the top of the gap from February. So the top of the gap there at 35.43, and we've had support coming in on several occasions above that. The view now is that while we're above broken neckline resistance at from mid-March at 45.37, we could hit the top of a rising trend channel from the beginning of the year as high as $70 by the end of next month. Finishing off with a stock which is not so familiar to me, but maybe to other people, Qualtrics International, and here another gap through the 50-day line, another break of former recent resistance, so that's at 39.69. Above that on an end-of-day close basis, looking for a best-case scenario target as high as $60 plus as soon as the end of next month. So let's see if that actually pans out. If you want a stop loss, which is a bit wider than the 50-day line, 36.54 would do the trick on Qualtrics. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.